Good morning, everyone. We are continuing in Megilat Esther Perek Aleph, Pasuk Vav, and now the Pasuk describes in detail all of the unbelievable, beautiful things that were provided at the feast of Achashverosh. We mentioned in the last Pasuk where they were situated in the garden, in the courtyard, in the palace, and now the Pasuk says, Chur Karpas Utchelet. There was this beautiful white types of cloth and karpas and green utchelet and the color tchelet, turquoise. Achuz bechavle boots. It was held with very fine linen, ve'argaman and scarlet. So all of these colors were clothing that were given to the people there, and it was also used for beds. We're going to explain al gilil zahav. These colors were also on the silver rods, the amudei shesh, and pillars of marble. We'll explain that in a moment. Mitot zahav v'chesef, beds that were gold and silver. The Gemara explains in short that it was golden frames and silver legs, as opposed to people having different, this guy gold or that guy silver, because then again it's going to cause like jealousy among people. So everyone had these golden beds with silver legs. Al ritzpat, and the floor was bahat vashesh, was green and white marble, vidar v'socharet, and pearls, with pearls and onyx. So an unbelievably lavish type of party and royal clothing. So the Gaon of Vilna explains that back in the day they didn't sit and eat, let's say, on a table and chairs like we know. Rather, they were, like we know from Pesach, they would lie down on kind of beds and lean, and that's how they would eat. So he explains that if you lie down, you need like a headrest to be a little bit upright. You can't be on a full 180 and you're sleeping. So they had these marble pillars, short marble pillars, that were draped with beautiful clothing, and that was like the armrest, so to speak. So they were lying down, and at one edge they had these marble pillars, short marble, that they were able to lean on, and that's how they would sit and eat. And this is what it's describing as well. The Gaon of Vilna says that this is in the physical world, and the Pasuk is teaching us that certainly in Shamayim, in the spiritual world, that the Tzaddikim's reward is so much further, so much more than this. If this is on this world, what the pleasures of this world, we know that as the Pasuk, as the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avot, that Yafeh Sha'ah Achat Shel Olam Haba Mikol Chayei Ha'olam Hazeh. It's a beautiful one moment of Olam Haba, of the next world, and all of the life of this world, all the pleasures of this world. So it's just a little drop in a bucket to get us to understand what's waiting for us if we do the proper life. Now, the Gaon of Vilna explains further that this also connects to the Yetzer Hara, the negative inclination, evil inclination. He explains that the Pasuk starts off with clothing, and at first it's going to eventually talk about eating as well. It talks about clothing, and then beds, and then the floor was even with onyx and gems. He said, when a person doesn't control himself and he totally follows gashmiyut, the physical, he wants to attain physical things, so it just doesn't stop. It goes out of control. It could start with food, and then gets the clothing, and then gets the even golden beds and even golden floors, things that you don't even need. And that's what starts off. The pasuk starts off with the word chur. Chur is this white type of thread, and the chet is a big chet. Chur also is the same word as the word chor. Chor is a hole. That these could cause holes in your soul. And it ends off with dar v'socharet in the pasuk. And dar is from the word dor ledor. Every single generation, meaning if a person follows this route and doesn't change himself, they could pass on from generation to generation into the oblivion, and it could get to a point, God forbid, that a person's so used to sinning that it's in his mind, it's allowed. I've been doing this sin for so long, so it's just allowed, and it passes on from generation to generation. There's got to be that point where a person's got to stop and halt and say, okay, I got to learn. I got to see what am I allowed to do, what am I not allowed to do, etc. The Gaon of Vilna has a beautiful explanation here on the outlook of what Achashverosh did and connecting to kosher let's see right now. So here, the word techelet is thrown in. Techelet is turquoise, but techelet is also the strand of the tzitzit. Techelet was the part of the clothing of the Kohanim. So it was a very holy color. And even if you go now to Tzfat, they have painted, even in Yerushalayim, they have painted this turquoise that was on the graves of tzaddikim. So Achashverosh includes this color in his tapestry, in what he was offering to the people, and his motivation was, I want to show them this is a holy event. He wanted to, as if, bluff them. Now, the Gaon Vilna connects this to the following. He says there's 4 animals in the Torah that have only one kosher sign. The 2 kosher signs are split hooves and that it chews its cud. So a horse, for instance, has 0 out of the 2. A cow has 2 out of the 2. That's a kosher animal. There's only 4 animals that have 1 out of the 2. The pig, and then the other 3, which are the camel, the rabbit, and the hare. Those 3 have a different sign than the pig. The pig has split hooves. It looks kosher on the outside, but on the inside it doesn't chew its cud. The other 3 chew its cud, but they don't have split hooves. So he explains there's a difference between the 3 and the 1. He says that already from the Midrash, he says these 4 are compared to the 4 exiles that Bnei Israel went through. And the last exile is the exile that we're in right now, and that's compared to the Chazir, that's compared to the pig, and that's compared to the Galut of Esav, the Galut of Romi, the Galut that we're in right now. So he says the other 3, the difference between the other 3 is that when the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, we violated by doing outwardly sins, and even the 3 cardinal sins of murder and idol worship and adultery. And even though we did outwardly sins, on the inside we had love between fellow Jews. There was no sinat chinam, there was love. Unfortunately, on the outside though, we sinned. But even though we got to such a point that the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, it was rebuilt only 70 years later. And then when the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, that was destroyed because of hatred, basically hatred between Jews. That means on the outside they were actually good. They looked good on the outside. And actually when the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, they went to the rabbis and said, what do we do wrong? And it took time until it was revealed in Nevuah that on the outside it looked good, but on the inside the people still hated each other. And there was Lashon Hara, etc. And therefore, that connects to these animals, where the outside, the 3 animals, we said, the outside, it looks not kosher. There's no sign of kosher. They don't have split hooves. On the inside, though, it looks kosher because they chew its cud. So too, in the time of the first Beit HaMikdash, on the outside, these guys look not kosher. They're wicked and they're doing bad things. And they're killing. But on the inside, they were kosher, meaning among each other there was love. There was no basis hatred. There's no lashon hara, and that only 70 years after the first Beit HaMikdash that was forgiven, and the second Beit HaMikdash was created. But the chazir, the pig, on the outside looks kosher. It looks good. Oh, let's have some pig. That's why he sleeps like this, right? To show like I'm kosher. But on the inside he's not kosher. So too in the time of the second Beit HaMikdash, they look good on the outside, and shiurim maybe, and tefillah, and all these things, but on the inside, there was still sin, there was still basis hatred, and that destruction was still suffering in that exile. And so that's why when they were doing sins on the outside, so their end was revealed to them. It was revealed to them that after 70 years they're going to come back to Eretz Yisrael. But us, it was not revealed to, because our sin was on the inside, so too it's hidden from us as well when the end is going to come. And therefore our job is to work on the outside, of course, and the inside of loving and not having basis hatred. And therefore Achashverosh wanted, like the pig, to show his party's holy. He's bringing, we're going to talk about it later, and not today, we're going to talk about that kosher food, etc. And he brings techelet, to show that this is a royal color, this is a holy color, this is a holy thing. It's like the pig. It shows on the outside everything's nice and kosher, but on the inside he's rotten. So this is a message for us that Be'ezrat Hashem we will act proper on the outside and on the inside, and soon bring the Beit HaMikdash Shlishi. Amen. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai Omer, Tzak Kadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Israel. לפיכך, הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיר תורה וידיר. מוני, אתה איתנו? קדיש, קדר.